Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing? The final Friday before Santa Claus comes and delivers presents to us all. A festive time of year. Hope everyone's having a great time. Hope we are organized and ready to go. Price of turkeys is a fun thing. Nip down, looked at M&S's website, £175. Right, that's all for a turkey.
Why don't you just go kill one? Might as well.
That's crazy.
Because they're called pigeons. Those are our turkey. Our wild turkeys are pigeons.
Oh my God.
That's so
but
funny.
That's £175?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fancy shop. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fancy shop.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fancy shop. It's Marks and Spencer's. Do you know what I'm saying? But what? Like, what are they doing? Like, the turkey better do the washing up afterwards for that.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you only
real.
do the turkey breast? It's much nicer.
Oh, listen, it's all about the turkey's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's all about the hams for me, like gammons and big slabs of ham. And
that's what we always do is ham, Christmas ham.
I'm not being funny. As soon as we hit the 1st of January, I'm straight back to the supermarket and I'm buying all those 60-pound turkeys that are down to like $5. And I'm having sandwiches for I just cold cuts my way through January. It's the way it has to be done. It has to be done. But of course, we are gathered here with the wonderful Paula and the wonderful DJ Protovski, Nick from Sober Stories. And I do believe Hollywood Wade is going to be joining us too. I imagine we're having some timeline inconsistencies, but I'm sure you'll be joining us. Now, it's very peculiar that today we have this show, and today...
Yes, seriously.
Jonbenet Ramsey is back in the news with some new evidence. So we're going to cover that. Of course, we're going to be looking into the possibility of the timelines overlapping of Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein possibly having some sort of involvement in this poor girl's unaliving. We're going to look at that theory based off of some photographs and some individuals who've pasted together the political leanings of the Bennett family, the Ramsey family's political leanings from the parents. And we're going to look at some interviews that were done with Jonbenet Ramsey's parents and her brother. And we're going to recap the case and we're going to have a look at it all. So make sure you like and subscribe and get sharing. But before we do all that, Paula, how are you? What's been happening with you? Well, that's the wrong button. This is the right button. There we go. Paula, what's been happening with you?
Oh, nothing. Everything's great. And getting used to the cold weather here, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, you've had weeks, mate. Like you should be used to it by now.
But it wasn't this cold. You know, like now it's cold.
Yeah, Canada's serious. Canada, like I've seen like people like with like 12 foot worth of snow piled up at their back door, and they just open the back door and put the beers in the pile of snow. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how cold it is. Canada's proper cold. Cold.
Yeah, like, you know, people would think that Norway is colder, but it's not. Norway is darker for sure. So it feels colder, but it's
freaking cold.
But it's not as cold as Canada, Toronto. But I'm not gonna, you know, be angry or anything. I'm just glad I'm not in Ottawa, because Ottawa is way worse than Toronto.
Well, big shout out.
Ottawa is very cold.
Shade being thrown at Ottawa there. But listen, good to hear from you. And we'll get right back to you. And Nick, how are you? What's been going on? Tell us all about how you have been since the last time we've seen each other.
Sup, Sobers. Sup, Ron. Sup, Paula. Things are good. Life is good. Just posted a video about Rob Reiner this morning, actually.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Super.
Do you think that the other brothers the brother and sister are in on it?
Hang on, let him do his intro. Then we can pull him
up. Honestly, I didn't see anything, but it is really strange, especially the fact that the daughter found her. But it's a super interesting deep dive. Of course, it was fine for like 10 hours, doing super well, and then got hit with the yellow check mark for no reason. So that's kind of annoying. But besides that, I mean, things are going smooth. Looking forward to doing more stuff with you, Ron.
Yeah, man.
Stoked for the holidays to also be over, I guess. But it's always so stressful. Anyway, I don't know about for you guys, but such a stressful time of year.
Yeah, it's standard, mate. You're not alone. Okay? You're not alone in the stresses of Christmas at all. But of course, everyone's links are in the descriptions, and we'll get diving into this now. So, Paula, you and I,
we did that. Remember, we did that.
Yeah,
and well, at least yours is up, DJ.
Did yours get taken down?
They copyrighted my butt until no. I mean, it wasn't okay because my whole point was to leave it up because they got such massive views, right? And then, but the problem was that we used clips of this podcast or whatever from YouTube, and the guys don't even allow you to use any. And it was they didn't even copyright me for the long bits. It's a little bit from another podcast. It was like less than 5 seconds, and I couldn't even appeal it. It's like no.
Yeah,
Dunzo, nightmare. Yeah, those 2 seconds of footage claims are the worst. They really are.
I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I thought, I'm going to make this one shorter because we used the experts, that really good, the experts that literally tells you who the murderer was. I mean,
yeah, it's one of those cases, and we're gonna start delving into it now because this case is one of those weird ones where this image here, right? This image here is one of those photos where you're like, who's presenting their kids like this to people? Also, I need to take off this where we're like this. Who dresses their kids up like this and presents them around? Now, the whole beauty pageant thing it's a global thing, right? But it is very prominent in America.
I don't like it.
I'm not a huge fan of it myself. Like anything involving kids being judged on beauty and sequins, and it's weird. It's weird. It's really
the problem that I have with this, Ron. Never mind. They could have kids competitions, whatever you wanted. Yeah. It's the way that they adult these little girls.
Yeah.
They try to show them as little adults because even the way they dress them, they don't dress them like children. You would think this basically like a U.S. Like a grown-up woman's pageant, but in little girls. Because that is so inappropriate. Even the way they spray tan them. It's not like you're seeing a cute child, and like see if they can run fast and do whatever, do the little dances like little kids. No, they turn these little children into adults, and a lot of these children don't want to do it.
I'm sure it turns kids into.
Did you see that documentary?
Which one, Paul?
There's a documentary about little girls, and you can see the little girls, and now at the end of the documentary, you really want to put the parents in jail because 90% of the little girls don't want to do it. These are the mothers forcing their kids to do that. And the little girl is crying, and the little girl is like, why can't I go play? And the mother is just shut up. You got to do this. Yeah. One little girl even had a severe allergy to the spray that she was getting put on. Like it was a horrible thing to watch.
Yeah, it's a weird industry. And yeah, before we delve into that, Nick, you got a take on any of that before we get started on it?
Yeah, I could imagine that's so psychologically traumatizing for a little girl, like being judged at that young of an age on your beauty and like these weird adult qualities, and then having to continue to live up to that standard for the rest of your life, or constantly being so psychologically affected by other people's opinion or judgment of you. I could see that being so permanently damaging to a little girl. And it reminds me of that show Friday Night Tykes. I don't know if you guys ever watched that. It's about the little kids that play football in Texas. Okay. And it is the most intense football programs. These guys push these kids like they're NFL athletes. And same thing, like the kids are crying and they're getting hurt and they are never having any fun because it's so grueling. But the parents are like, making them stick it out because they're living vicariously through their kid. I don't really understand it, honestly.
Yeah. It's a weird one. I mean, if it was some guy in his 20s who shows signs of being the next global sensation in any sport, turn on the pressure, right? But really, what are the signs of a 6-year-old being the next anything? All right, let's be honest.
Some are younger than that. Some are younger than that.
Yeah. Oh, of course they are. But it's a weird culture, and I mean, I'm happy to say that it's not something that appeals or has ever been part of the upbringing of my kids or any of the kids around our, my family unit.
Tom Hanks does. So
listen, we've seen the memes about Mr. Tom Hanks, but Paula, it was of course 1996 when
was it 1996 or 1995? 1996, yeah, it was 1996
when she passed. 96, she was age 6, August
25. I was thinking it's because December 25th, 1996.
She'd be the same age as me. That's how I remember it.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
yeah, we didn't have the same birthday, obviously, but we were the same age.
Yeah, it's wild. And
Oh, and I
Paul-
live in Colorado, so I'm real close to Boulder. And I've always wanted to go up and check out the house. I don't know if I'd get like, I guess you can film from the street, but yeah, I've always wanted to go check it out. Boulder's a cool place, anyways. I go up there occasionally, so
nice.
definitely going to stop up in there and see what the house looks like. It'd be, give you some context.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But Paula, when we originally covered this, you laid out the kind of backstory for it all with us. Are you okay to go through that with us again? Take us through the sort of the fundamentals of the case and do that, or I can do that if
Okay, I mean, we can all do it. I mean, she, Jonbenet Ramsey, you know, she was the daughter of John Ramsey, and her mother. I think her mother just passed, or passed a while ago from cancer. But she was born in, you know, like it gives me the creep. She was born in August, I believe, 1990, and she was a young, beautiful little girl. The mother used to be a kind of like a beauty queen or something like that. I guess this is where the whole thing started with it. And you know that I found a fact that the reason why she was called Jonbenet is because it was the combination of the names of the father.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, isn't that something? I was like,
Wait, so the
"Ugh."
names of the father and who?
Well, John's the name of the
His
father.
name is Jonbenet Ramsey.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that his middle name was Bennett.
Yeah, so it was shortened
That
to
actually makes
John
sense.
Benet Ramsey.
Could we see some fathers? Well, you know, you had a son as well, didn't you?
Yeah,
So-
that's I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get in trouble, but that's the a very suspect person.
Well, look, we're going to get
I'm
into
with
that.
you,
Don't worry.
Paula. I'm with you on that, Paula.
I mean, you know what it is? I think about this case. It's just like the McCanns. When the police refuses to investigate or rule out the natural suspect, because over 90% of the people, when people like that die in those circumstances, literally we've seen it right now with what's his name? The producer, what's his name? John Rayner. What's his name?
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner, yes. It's usually the family, especially when there's nobody around, you know. But the problem is when you get the police and they say we're not going to investigate, we're not going to follow procedure, because it is a twofold reason why the police does it. First, to rule out the person as a suspect, or to see who it is, because it's usually the person closest to them, most likely. So this wasn't done, and this is where we are at, especially with the kid. Well, now the brother.
All right. So what I'm going to do, just give me a second. I'm going to pull up the case and I'll do a case review for everybody, because there's a lot of points that we need to highlight in this case.
I didn't know what you wanted me to highlight, because, you know, our video.
That's okay. That is no problem. Because it's not just the horrific, you know, fact that this girl's not here anymore. There's a lot of oddities. And
yeah, she was found in the basement. Apparently the parents, they came from dinner. They went to sleep. Apparently the little girl came down from what it was found, because there was pineapple in a bowl with milk, and it was found on the breakfast table. And then
all right. No, you're getting a C- for that. Okay, so Jonbenet Patricia Ramsey, born August 6, 1990 to December 25th, 1996, was an American child who was unalived at the age of 6 in her family home at 755 15th Street in Boulder, Colorado, on the night of December 25th, which is Christmas, right?
Yeah, so crazy that the timing aligns real well with our chat and then them releasing stuff. Well, you know what it is? It's the anniversary of it. So they always do that kind of stuff around the anniversaries, because there's renewed interest. So I don't know. Either way, still
almost
wild.
It's terrible that they found more after 29 years, right? Or something like that.
Her body was found in the house basement about 7 hours after she'd been reported missing. Her skull was fractured and a garrote was tied around her neck. The autopsy report stated that Jonbenet's official cause of death was asphyxia by strangulation, associated with craniocerebral trauma. Her death was ruled a homicide, and the case generated worldwide public media interest. The Boulder police initially suspected that a long handwritten ransom note that was reportedly found in the home had been written by her mother, Patsy, and that the note and the appearance of Jonbenet's body had been staged by Patsy and her husband, Jonbenet Ramsey, to cover up the killing. In 1999, the police and district attorney both said that Jonbenet's brother, Burke, who was 9 years old at the time of her death, was not a suspect. Jonbenet's parents gave several televised interviews, but resisted police questioning except on their own terms. In 2013, an unsealed court document revealed that in 1999, a grand jury recommended filing charges against the Ramseys for permitting the child to be in a threatening situation. John and Patsy were also accused of hindering the prosecution of an unidentified person who had committed the crime and murder in the first degree and child abuse resulting in death. However, the DA determined that there was insufficient evidence to pursue a successful indictment. In 2002, the DA took over the investigation, and the police primarily pursued the theory that an intruder had committed the killing. In 2003, trace DNA was taken from Jonbenet's clothing and found to belong to an unknown male. Each family member's DNA had been excluded from this match. The DA sent the Ramsey letter. Hang on a second. The DA sent the Ramseys a letter of apology in 2008, declaring the family was completely cleared by the DNA results. Interesting. In a 2015 interview, former Boulder Police Chief Mark Becker said that, in his view, the perpetrator was the source of the unidentified DNA found on Jonbenet's clothing. In 2009, the Boulder police took the case back from the DA and reopened the investigation. National and international media coverage of the case focused on Jonbenet's brief beauty pageant career, as well as her parents' wealth and unusual evidence found in the case, particularly the suggestion of child SA. Media reports questioned how the police had handled the investigation, and it accused various members of the Ramsey family. Ramsey's family members and friends had filed defamation suits against several media organizations. The crime is still considered a cold case and remains open investigation with the Boulder Police Department, with annual updates published by the police department websites. I mean, the fact that we're talking about a girl's body being found in her own basement 7 hours after she's reported missing. I'm sorry. If you have an attic or a basement and one of your children vanishes in the night, I'm thinking top 3 places I'm looking first is the basement and the attic. So how are you then just going down and finding the
because the mother says she found this note.
Of course, right? Yeah, so they didn't need to look, right?
No, exactly. Yeah. And this is the thing, that the mother found that note that apparently the kidnappers sat down and they didn't bring the note. No.
That's right.
They had to write it, and apparently they did a run through for the first time, because the first pages, they had to sit down and there's actually a documentary where they show, we did our video using that documentary with experts, and they said that the speech pattern of the letter and everything is hers, right? A high percentage that it would be an English speaking person, and it would be her, and also the handwriting. But what is really interesting, they used her pen, the papers from the house. And they did it. They tried to do it fast. They tried to do it as quickly as possible. It still took them almost 40 minutes.
It was basically what we're talking about here is allegedly someone broke into the house, murdered and abused this young girl, arranged her downstairs on the floor, filled up a bowl with pineapple and milk, went back upstairs, and then proceeded to write a 3-page letter.
No, the letter was on the stairs.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, it was exactly in this photograph. But it was the office supplies from the home.
The letter, the letter and the pen from the home. So they rummaged in the dark to find out where the papers are in order to sit down, turn on the light, because you can't write this in the dark. And they wrote it in such a way that there is no mistakes. You know how you hesitate sometimes when you write something by handwriting? Oh, I shouldn't have said that or whatever.
You scribble it out.
There was no mistakes. the amount that they demanded was oddly the bonus that Mr. Ramsey had gotten paid for that Christmas.
It was 2 pages long. That always hit me as
Two and a
weird.
half,
Like, it was
Let me
4.5. Okay, my bad. It was
no, two and a half.
Who's wasting that much time inside of a stranger's house writing out this like letter? I know how long it takes me to write something out. That's like at least a half an hour to write that freaking letter.
It took them 40 minutes. The experts sat down and they tried to recreate the letter. Going really fast, you know. It took them 40 minutes.
Yeah, and it does match pretty well. That's crazy.
Oh no, they match it. They did, but what they did is what they used is gaslighting back then. It's like, no, you know, it doesn't. It's not her. They allowed them. They allowed their Ramseys to take the narrative. They wouldn't allow the police to put out the whatchamacallit, their theories, and then they didn't allow the grand jury and actually indicted them, but the prosecutor said no.
Yeah. So the people said, yeah, we need to do this. And
absolutely.
then the prosecutor said, nope.
Absolutely. And years later was the prosecution that decided not to do it.
I also read that the babysitter, I was reading some interesting stuff about the babysitter, but she said that she found the note in the trash a few days after the investigation was kind of finished up at the house. And she said that the police never actually even collected the original note. I don't know if there was any credibility to that, but I thought that was an interesting piece that she said she found the note in the trash. Or if it wasn't the note, it was a note, like one of the first drafts or something.
Okay, yeah, that sounds
so
more
what happened is that she comes running and then she runs into the letter. So there's no need to look for it, right? Mm-hmm. There's no need to look for the girl because there's a ransom note. And she calls 911, but this stupid cow forgets to hang the phone properly, to hang up properly.
Okay.
So the 911, who does that? You stay on the phone. Like, at least I would. Oh my gosh, I am here. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to look? No, she hangs up, or she thought she did, but the operator can hear her because she didn't hang up. And then, what's her name? This lady is there. There's a recording there, and they have played it, and there's a little voice of a young person, and you can hear Mr. Ramsey saying, "What have you done? What have you done?" And you can hear a little boy and there's only 3 people there, which is the parents and the little brother, because clearly Jonbenet by then is dead. Mm-hmm. You know, so she thinks that she hung up, but the 911 caller is there, and the 911 operator said that she was shocked that they never called her at all, in spite of the fact that she came forth with this testimony.
Hang on one second.
Okay, what's your name? Are you Ramsey? I'm the mother.
I'm the mother, not I'm her mother. I'm the mother. The entire 911 call was an act by...
All right, okay, I beg your pardon. I thought that was the full call. Give me a second. Let me try this one.
Police, what's going on? 515th Street. What's going on there, ma'am? We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please. Explain to me what's going on, okay? There's a note left and our daughter's gone. A note was left and your daughter is gone? How old is your daughter? 6 years old. She's blonde. 6 years old. How long ago was it? I don't know. I just found the note. And my daughter's gone. Does it say who took her? What? Does it say who took her? I don't know. There's a ransom note here. It's a ransom note? It says SBTC. Victory. Please. Okay, what's your name? Are you Kathy Ramsey? I'm the mother.
Can you put her there? Can you go back and where she says when she says SCTC Victory, she pauses to see what the other lady says. Listen to that awkward pause, which is really weird. It's like she's waiting for it to say what, and she's like,
yeah. And who focuses on that part when your kid's missing? Like, who gives a shit?
Please.
Okay, well, look. Let me just be devil's advocate here, right? Okay, because I'm going to play the part of the man who believes they had nothing to do with it. Okay, so
I'm out of here.
Right. So I would expect that this mother would be all over the place. You know, she would be trying to give over little bits of information or whatever. Now, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing the madness of my own words here. So we're just going to continue with this.
Well, no, it could be a clue. It could be a clue as to who did it.
Listen.
Please. Okay, what's your name? Are you Kathy Ramsey?
I just put it back.
Victory.
A bit more.
Tender? I don't know. There's a ransom note here. It's a ransom. How long ago was it? I don't know. I just found the note. And my daughter's... Does it say who took her? What? Does it say who took her? I don't know. There's a ransom note here. It's a ransom note? It says FBTC. Victory. Please. Okay, what's your name? Are you Kathy Ramsey? I'm the mother. Oh my God! Please. I'm sending an officer over, okay? Please. Do you know how long she's been gone? No, I don't. Please, we just got out and she's right here. Oh my God, please. Okay, well, please, somebody. I am, honey. Please. Take a deep breath. Please, okay? Hurry. Patsy. Please.
Interesting.
But you don't have the call because see if you can find the call where it says that because this is why the 911 is like Patsy because she thought she hung up.
Hang on I'm sorry, I have to look for this live.
Testimony from Boulder Police and from Lou Smith. Burke Ramsey also testified. According to police documents, he listened to the 911 call, and although he would not admit that he was in the kitchen when his mother made the 911 call, he told the jurors that it sounded like his voice on the tape. Then, 13 months later, the grand jury reached a decision. They heard testimony.
All right, so clearly, whatever Paula's referencing, which I'm currently looking for.
I have it here.
You got it. Okay, wicked. Send me over. Thank you, Paula.
I'll send it to you right now.
Because I'll be honest with you, I've not heard a single sliver.
You have never heard that? Yes, of course.
I never even knew this was part of the lore. So
yeah, I didn't either.
I'm telling you, Paula's good, man. Paula's good.
She is good.
It's part of that documentary that and the lady that these people, remember that documentary we used? Yeah. They're talking and they're actually looking and listening and they're pausing. Hopefully this will have it.
Well done, Paula. That was tall. Honestly, you'll do a show with Paula. Done. You'll do your research, and then Paula will pull hers out, and you'll be like, no one even pointed me in this direction. So let's have a listen. Well, that's an absolute nightmare.
No, but listen. Keep listening. After this is the whole call. This goes for a long time.
Just so where we hear Patsy, that's the end of the name.
That was the end. No, before when the woman starts calling Patsy had already hung up.
Yeah.
This is why then go the whole thing and see if you can unlock it. Yeah. I mean, I have another one that I can show you here.
Good. That sounds like people are talking.
No, yeah, but listen, definitely does. They're talking. So you have this gentleman who did this thing as well.
Yeah.
And he's like,
let me just play the end of this, and then I'll bring up the other one you sent, Paul, because this is really fascinating.
Oh, that's crazy,
dude.
I didn't hear anything the first couple of times that it went through, so I'm glad that I stopped it like that. But now I clearly hear it.
Once you start clearing up audio, bro, it can be bonkers. It goes all of a sudden goes from absolute fever dream sound effects to oh my God, I can hear something. You know, it's bonkers, mate.
They're gonna arrest
Okay, I
me.
got the best. I got a better one. I'm gonna send you this right now.
Hang on, there's only 20 seconds left on this. Just dude, that totally sounds like they're going to arrest me.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does, and it definitely doesn't sound like
No, use the last
Patsy's
one. You
voice.
can use
It's
this
too-
one
it's
afterwards,
too
but use
light.
the very last one I sent you. It's the 6 seconds that they have enhanced the best.
Oh, let's go. I tell you what, as well, when was this from? 8 years ago. See if we were to run this through AI now.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
I'm
yeah, for
telling you,
real.
man, the stuff that AI can do with enhancing video and sound is wild.
Okay, play the gentleman that you were about to play, and he does a voice thing, and because you can hear it, and you can hear it in the documentary that we released.
Miley Cyrus is playing somewhere. Hang on. Where the hell is Miley started from? Miley!
It was on the last video clip.
That's
It
it.
was-
That's
it was
the
like
one
the
you can
next
use it.
video.
Thank you. I found it. Miley came out of nowhere. I don't know if you heard that on the stream, but that was definitely coming through my headphones. So apologies there. Okay, so let me play this. Let's hear what this guy's got to say, because this is Watson House Studios. We've got to assume this guy knows something about sound.
Hey everyone, this is Steve at Watson House Studios. Tonight I'm going to do something a little bit different, and this is really rough. But I've been kind of like interested, not really studying it a lot, but interested in the Jonbenet Ramsey case. And I've been listening to, been reading about it, watching videos on it, doing like everybody else does, right? I read a few books on it, years past. But the last couple of days, I went back and listened to the 911 call that Patsy made. And it's interesting because, and I'm going to show some transcripts from it. You go on CNN and a few other websites. The transcripts always start with the word police. Patsy saying police. And I think she said something before that. Okay. And what I think she said was, I'm going to telegraph this right now. Want to know if you hear the same thing, is she says, hurry, we need an, and then she gasped because she realized she was going to say ambulance. So what her natural thing was going to say was, hurry, we need an ambulance. But she realized she can't say ambulance. So she said, hurry, we need an police. And the way she says police is even like a shock in a way. So, and you're going to, like I said, I'm going to show some transcripts on here, and you can see that I have my Pro Tools system in my recording studio. And I'm going to switch over to that now, and I want to know what you guys think.
All right, Steve.
Okay.
All right. So he's laid it out pretty well for us. Let's hear what he's got.
Thank you.
This is the
Thank you.
original 911 call. I did clean it up a little bit of effects to try to clean up the noise. Okay, so here's the original call.
911 emergency. Police. What's going on? 15th Street. What's going on there, ma'am? We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please. Explain to me what's going on, okay? There's a note left and our daughter's gone. A note was left and your daughter is gone? How old is your daughter? 6 years old. She's gone. 6 years old. How long ago was it? I don't know. I just found the note. And my daughter's Does it say who took her? What? Does it say who took her? I don't know. There's a ransom note here. It's a ransom note? It says FBTC. Victory. Please. Okay, what's your name? Are you Kathy Ramsey? I'm the mother. Oh my God. Please. I'm sending an officer over, okay? Please. Do you know how long she's been gone? No, I don't. Please, we just got out. Is she on here? Oh my God, please. Okay, come. I am, honey. Please. Take a deep breath. Please. Okay. Hurry. Kathy.
Okay, so now what I want to focus in on is the part where the first thing that Patsy says, and what you'll see is that she actually says some words, and I'm going to play it first, and I want to hear what, and it starts here. This is the first line that Patsy says, okay? And I'm going to play it in its normal speed, okay? And this is the first time you hear Patsy say something in normal speed.
And so we need police at 155 15th Street.
So I'm going to do that one more time, okay? Here's the first line that Patsy says.
And so we need police at
So what I hear is, hurry, we need an, and then she breathes in like she was going to make a mistake. And then she says, police. And it's a surprise. Or police. It doesn't make sense the way she says the word police. She was going to, I believe she was going to say, hurry, we need an ambulance. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it again, but this time it's slowed down a little. And I want you to hear what it sounds like. Okay, so I'll do this a couple times. So here we go. Just now isolated on her voice. Okay, you can see I looped it. I'm going to do it again. Okay, here we go. Hear what she says. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, play. So to me, it sounds like she's saying, hurry, we need an police. Okay. And the breathe in part, which is kind of interesting. And the way I see this is she also, the way she breathes.
What do you guys think? Nick, what do you think? Was that a suspicious pause in her breathing? Do you think that we're staring into some subconscious evidence?
I don't know if it's something that's like definitively proving anything, but it is weird. But I think, like you said before, if that is the actual situation, I could totally see it being, just a frantic mom freaking out. Like, I need, and like, I don't know what I need right now. I need you to call police. And so I could see her doing that, but it is also really strange. The other thing that I find really strange just in general is that there was a ransom note. Like, how often does a ransom note kidnapping actually exist? Like, I'm sure only like a handful of times.
Like, do you know what? Paula, let me get your take on that. And then I think we should like look at the ransom note and have like listen to what actually was in the ransom note. Because I think it's also a bit mad.
Oh, real quick, what is the SBFC thing? Paula, do you know? Because I know that it ended up standing for something.
Yeah, it was it was something like, if I remember correctly, it was the Islamist that took her. Okay. And if you notice, first of all, that thing is BS. Why is she like, you know what she's doing? She's doing what is called being a bad actress. She's exaggerating, thinking that's how you would sound if you're crying. If your kid is taken, you're not, because she's not crying. She's like, she's doing that labor breathing, but Ron, and and I was like, and then when she hangs up, she's talking normally because the person can hear. You don't go like that. You don't Erica Kirk your way like that. It's like, but then I want to thank everybody who's donating to that. It's like, but then thank you to the donors for speaking. That is terrible. And then you hear her, she only has like labor breathing. It's like she's giving birth to somebody because she's trying to fake it. If you're calling somebody, first of all, you don't say there's been a kidnapping. From who? Right. Like the neighbors kidnapped? No, somebody took my child. I'm freaking out. Can you please come get the effect over here? I want you here right now. And it's like, get over here. No, the FCTC, and then she pauses for effect. No effect. She continues. And then she hangs up. Who hangs up on the 911 thing?
In all of those slowed down sounds, you don't hear her doing that same breathing when she thinks she's off the phone. So that's actually a good point. I didn't think of that, Paula.
All right.
Look, listen to her. You don't do that. But the reason you do that is if you want to pretend cry. Like I was watching this thing. Do you guys know what is called the Vanna White effect in acting?
The Vanna White, no.
Well, you probably don't know who Vanna White was, Ron, or you?
Yeah, from Wheel of Fortune.
or we love poultry. That she does all these exaggerated gestures. This is what's called the Vanna wife.
Okay.
And the letter A, you know. Let me give you an example. This is how you differentiate a good actor and a bad actress. If a bad actor wants to show that they have a headache, they probably go like, you know, like maybe in their eyes or something. But a bad actress will go, "Oh my God, I have a headache."
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
So that's what it was.
That's what she's doing.
And that's
then you're able to do what I'm doing right now.
And that's the vibe she's giving. Okay, so I'm going to go through this ransom note, right? Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction.
You want me to read it because it's supposed to be foreign and I have a foreign accent.
Yes,
What does it say, Mr. Ramsey? Listen carefully. We're a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. We respect your business, but not the country that it serves. At this time, I've been too long in Canada. I'm losing my accent. At this time, we have your daughter in our possession. She's safe and unharmed. And if you want her to see 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter. You will withdraw $118,000 from your account. $100,000 will be in $100 bills and the remaining $18,000 in $20 bills. Make sure that you bring an adequate size attaché to the bank.
What the hell's an attaché?
Yeah, I don't even know.
It must be a bag, right? It's got to be a bag. It's got to be a rich person term for a bag, right?
We meant to say something else,
so
but she used the word attaché because attaché is, for example, maybe that's the way I take it because I was a diplomat. An attaché is somebody who works in the government, and you're not attaché.
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah, it's a person officially assigned to the staff of a diplomatic mission to serve in particular. Right. Yeah. Okay. Carry on.
Then she's trying to say. So you're thinking that a foreign person is going to write this kind of English. This is why the expert said that whoever wrote this note was English speaking, right?
Yeah.
So there goes. Make sure that you bring an adequate size attaché to the bank. When you get home, you will put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call you between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you to be rested. If we monitor you getting the money early, we might call you early to arrange an earlier delivery of the money and hence.
What?
And earlier, and this is the thing that they were saying, that she was trying to sound dumb. You know, when you're trying to sound or trying to be, this is how they can tell that this person is native English speaker, because they're trying to sound like she started to try to sound like she was foreign by misusing words. But as the letter progresses, she gets comfortable in her writing and she forgets to use that anymore, you know, to continue to try to pretend she's not,
Okay. Listen. An attaché is another term for a briefcase. Okay. So just so we know.
But let me tell you right now, I am English speaking. I only speak that language. Never once in my life heard that word, let alone use that word in conversation.
I have heard it, but it's been applied for me.
Super sus.
Yeah, well, listen, I know people in this world that pronounce gilet gillet. Okay, so that's the world that we live in. So, but okay, so
let's continue. So she's trying to sound. This is where she goes, and hence earlier, because then it would have been an earlier pickup of your daughter. Any deviation, I can't read. Can you scroll up? Any deviation of my instructions will result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied her remains for a proper burial. The two gentlemen watching over your daughter do not particularly like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices. And if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned, we are familiar with law enforcement's countermeasures and tactics. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. Follow our instructions and you stand 100% chance of getting her back. You and your family are under constant scrutiny as well as the authorities. Don't try to grow a brain, John. And that is one of the things that the expert said, that she forgot she was not writing, because that's how she would address in some letters that she had. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You're not the only fat cat around, so don't think that killing will be difficult. Don't underestimate us, John. Use that good Southern common sense of yours. It's up to you now, John. Victory, SBTC.
Right.
Also, no, as
Okay,
Mrs. Ramsey.
listen, I need to say a few things, right? So we're expected to believe that someone broke in, unalived this little girl, made up a story about a foreign group, wrote a 3-page letter, and then left. And no one heard or seen or knew anything about it. Then it was reported as a missing person or a kidnapping because of this letter. 7 hours later, she's found unalived in the basement.
No, I'll give you how it is supposed to, how they Ramsey say it happened.
Hang on. Like this, like I have never heard such a bizarre anything in any true crime story. If anything, this is like an argument for where 3 different realities have overlapped, and this is the outcome of it. You know, where one reality,
it sounds like a crazy fiction story.
It really does, bro. It really does. Like, the only thing that's missing is like a scorch mark on the ground and a high dose of radiation coming from it to add an extra layer of mystery to this. Because, let's say for a second, the parents planned everything. What is this? What is, you would, like, what are we, it doesn't make any sense. The parents writing out this letter, I mean, did they really think this was going to throw off? I mean, they must have done. I mean, it did throw off everybody. I'm flabbergasted.
No. They didn't throw anybody
off.
And
if they were trying to actually get that ransom, who was going to pay that ransom if it was them that wrote the letter? Like, they know nobody's going to pay that ransom. So I'm like, I don't see any motive for the parents, but I also don't see any motive for anybody else. But I do see it strange that she was involved in the pageants. Like, that seems like a PDF playground. I'm going to go watch a kid's pageant.
Yeah, it's odd. And a lot of the pictures of her, right? Like, stuff like this, it's just odd, right? It's just all of it.
She looks like she could be 13 in that picture, but you know that she couldn't be older than 6. Yeah.
Right? She's like 5 or 6. It's odd, right? And of course, the connections with the political parties that have massive shadows cast over them, the Clintons and individuals like this, also resonate from this case. And we're talking about, once again, the super rich in America. And we're going to look at some interviews in just a minute between the mum and the dad and the brother. But I really feel like someone sat down with a lawyer and went, hey, just so you know, there's a possibility, hypothetically, if I was going to do something involving a global PDF ring and the unaliving of my daughter happened, what could help us dodge the charges? And a lawyer's went, just leave a ransom note, mate. That's what it feels like. Okay?
Yeah.
Just leave a ransom note, and I'll make sure the courts just go round in circles. That's what it feels like. And then he obviously assumed we were going to write a ransom note like, got your daughter, give money, bad guys. Not a Tolkien style novel.
No, if the whole thing was a kidnap, they would have come with a ransom note, because you don't want to leave any fingerprints or anything on the note. You can prepare. You come in, because the whole thing, supposedly, what they said is like they planned to kidnap her, but something must have gone wrong that they ended up killing her. Right?
Mate, if they're going to rewrite the note twice, at least update it and go, oh, listen, turns out, but Billy was a bit heavy-handed. We've left her in the basement. Can we please still have the money?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's what the expert. Why would they leave the note if they already know they knew they killed the girl? They didn't even bother to take the body to keep them hanging.
Paula, you would just,
you know what I mean? It's like, well, let's take the body with our shit. You know, like we said this. Yeah. Let's wait for him to get the money because we screwed up. I mean,
Yeah.
At least take the body,
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
money
you
and then disappear.
You would definitely take the body if the whole thing
Thing
was
is
around.
that supposedly they got up and 7 hours had gone by, which is in kidnapping time is a lot.
Yep.
This is why the first 24 hours is imperative to find the kid. After that, every hour that comes by. So 7 hours after, they're
So
gone.
wait. Do
They're in
we
different-
actually know that they found the body? Like, is there pictures of her
Yes,
being
I
gurneyed
thought,
out?
do you know
Is
how
there
they found the
autopsy
body?
photos?
Do you know how they found the body? They called the police. Of course, the police shows up. They don't contain the scene because for some reason they didn't contain the scene. Patsy Ramsey
not at
had
all.
the entire neighbors walking in and out. And then the police told the FBI told, or whoever told, keep an eye on John Ramsey. And then because they went all over the house and they couldn't find the little girl. Right. But then there were a bunch of people. There were a bunch of neighbors. They did basically what the McCanns did. They brought all their friends and, so they contaminated the area. Right. So guess who takes off? Well, the police are still trying to figure out what it is. John Ramsey goes down to the basement and he allegedly removes the girl from the scene and he goes upstairs and brings her and puts her in the living room.
Makes
Really?
perfect sense.
Removed her from, and then
It makes perfect sense that if you discover the unalived body of your little child, the first thing you're going to do is just pick her up and take her to the living room. Like it doesn't make any sense.
People were really angry that he did that. And they said, why did you pick her up? Well, I didn't want to leave her, but you contaminated the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then that little boy, her brother, had this electric train, right? And the tracks, and she had some marks in her body and the neck or on her body, sorry. And it seems that he tried to poke her because the marks, they found the train tracks in the basement, right? And when the experts, they had the pictures of the autopsy, right? The expert put it against the little girl. It matched perfectly. They literally recreated the entire house and everything with everything in it.
Yeah, there was a Netflix documentary a few years ago that was, I think it was like What Happened to Jonbenet Ramsey or something like this. And they took, I think it was the 6 most common theories and recreated it as it would have happened. It was quite an interesting one. You should go and check it out for anybody who wants to sort of explore more avenues on this. Now, what brought us to this? In fact, no, we're going to watch this interview first because this one was John and Patsy Ramsey granted an interview to local media on May the 2nd, 1997 is when this interview took place. And I think with what we just learned about John being very hesitant to do police questioning and rather doing this sort of control of narrative, let's have a listen.
To those of you who may want to ask, let me address very directly, I did not kill my daughter, Jonbenet. There have also been innuendos that she has been or was sexually molested. I can tell you those were the most hurtful innuendos to us as a family. They are totally false. Jonbenet and I had a very close relationship. I will miss her dearly for the rest of my life.
I'm not an expert, right? But there's no way there's no way Ron's going to be able to play a 12-minute long video if we're 30 seconds in and already I'm about to have a rant. We just need to watch that again because
he's like smiling at first. He seems smiling at first.
I'm not even on the smiling yet, bro. It's it's his eyes. It's where his eyes are going. And when people look down, right, it's a sign of shame or guilt or a reference to something that has in the back of their mind a data point of something they shouldn't have done. And let's just watch this again.
To those of you who may want to ask, let me address very directly, I did not kill my daughter, Jonbenet. There have also been innuendos that she has been or was sexually molested. I can tell you those were the most hurtful innuendos to us as a family. They are totally false. Jonbenet and I had a very close relationship. I will miss her dearly for the rest of my life.
I'm Patsy Ramsey, Jonbenet's mother. And I'm grateful that we are finally able to meet together face to face. I'm appalled that anyone would think that John or I would be involved in such a hideous, heinous crime.
How can you be appalled? The statistics back up the theory that, like, if you're...
But let me assure you that I did not kill Jonbenet. I did not have anything to do with it. I love that child with my whole of my heart and soul.
Mr. and Mrs. Ramsey, what do you want to say to the killer of your daughter?
We'll find you. We will find you. I have that as a sole mission for the rest of my life.
Mrs. Ramsey?
Likewise, the police and investigators have assured us that this is a case which can be solved.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you may be eluding the authorities for a time, but God knows who you are, and we will find you.
You know, it feels like the reaction of a set of parents who were promised that the daughter they've handed over was going to get a quick death, and then it discovered that she was slowly strangled. Right? That's the sort of, we'll find out who you are. Like, what's going on?
Well,
Like,
and
fair
Ron,
enough.
you're a dad, right? I don't know, Paula, if you're a parent or not, but that's only, what, 5 months after it happened. If that happened to my kid, I don't know if I'd still be that
You
composed.
can't sleep.
Like,
You can't
I'm a
sleep.
crier.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I could be. I don't think I would be where they are. And I don't know what the point of this press conference was actually. Like, if it was just them for, it just says grant interview, but it doesn't say like what. Maybe this was simply just to clear their name, but I don't really understand it. They start right off the bat with, "We didn't kill our daughter."
No, they started off the bat with, "We didn't SA our daughter, and we definitely didn't kill her, by the way, and we're definitely going to find the guy that done it. Trust us, bro. Trust me, bro. This is the vintage. Trust me, bro."
No, but you know what happened though? They left like the next day or so because they took the private plane and they went to, because they needed to spend Christmas away. So they left where the daughter was.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they were still in America, South America, on some Kushti island somewhere, just legally safe. But it really does not project the raw emotion that you would think that two individuals who have not only lost their child but discovered the child. It happened in the home, their family home. Like, there's so many layers of trauma involved in what these parents should be feeling. And again, this is all allegedly, but it just seems very bizarre how these two are acting. The mother definitely looks like she's been prescribed something to keep her calm as well. I'm not going to lie, which would be understandable, but
Ron,
Well, and I think
sent you
later on in this
something,
interview, she
the
slurs her words
documentary
and
we
stuff.
used
hang
was
on.
the one that I sent you. We can use some short clips of this. This is very interesting. This is the policeman, the police lady in charge at the time, and start from 2822. It's just a little clip that we're going to see.
What I'll do
2822.
is I don't know if I'm going to play it with any sound. I'm not wanting to get copyright.
You have to. No, you're not going to get copyrighted. It's like the 2822, just a little bit.
Okay.
To Boulder Police Department in 1990, just regular patrol. And I worked the streets for several years.
What did you think about the fear in the community that there's a killer on the loose?
Well, the fear from inside the department was not felt because some people felt that they knew who the murderers were.
Mm-hmm.
However, we wanted to make the community feel comfortable, so we would do the extra patrols diligently.
I know it's going through the press releases that the Boulder Police made. They were pretty bold in saying they did not believe that there was a killer on the loose, and the community.
Oh wow! I mean, that's pretty wild. That the people investigating are just not buying any of the official story. Crazy.
Yeah.
We'll continue.
No, they didn't. And have you seen the interview of that little boy? Did you ever see that one?
No, but let me just play
I can show it to you. I have it.
Yeah, fire it over. Let me just play another 30 seconds of this.
Community was safe.
I think there was not a killer on the loose, or not some random killer roaming the neighborhood looking for little girls.
And there have been no other similar cases in the metro area either, either leading up to or after this event.
Nothing. This was a one of a kind.
Oh, It certainly was not. It just wasn't localized as a one of a kind.
Total 4413 on that one.
3413.
44.13.
In forensic and legal psychology.
Well, let's look right at the beginning.
So, what did they tell you about why they wanted you to come talk today?
See if they can find who, you know what?
Is this Paula?
That's Burke, her brother, her older brother.
Her brother, okay.
Well, let me tell you a couple things, Brooke. First, my job is partly to get to know you as best as I can. Make sure that you're okay, because things are kind of been hard, I imagine. Okay. Are you going to school?
No, because I'm trying to stay away from the press. My friend said that after school, there's all these media people waiting there going, hello, did you see Burke in class today? No, I did not. I think he was absent. Oh, thanks. They go,
So do you feel like you're pretty safe?
yeah,
Yeah? Do you ever worry about it?
not really.
No?
I'm usually just playing my Nintendo.
Yeah?
Okay, stop it there.
I haven't seen.
Oh God. I just have visions of like so many escorts being murdered in motel rooms, being buried in deserts, just to fill somebody who, I'm not obviously pointing fingers at anyone who's still alive, but there's some definite vibes. Like this is
I'm telling you.
hang on, when is this? This is
That's Burke. He was interviewed the following year.
Yeah, the
And this
following
is-
year. So this is
But
about
because
10
this is
months.
because the Burkes didn't want the Ramseys didn't want him to be interviewed. It took a lot to get him to that point.
So this is about 10 months afterwards, right? I just
Best as I can. Make sure that you're okay, because things are kind of been hard, I imagine. Okay. Are you going to school?
No, because I'm trying to
because
stay
I mean,
away.
with this being 10 months afterwards, it gives
No, it's January. I think it was in January. January 8th, 1997. He was interviewed. So it was less than
Is
a
that-
month.
yeah, but the Americans put the date in this round the wrong way. So in
Yeah,
the
it is the
UK,
wrong way, but it is only like it's less than a month because Christmas
It's
would
less
be
than a
the
month.
25th,
Yeah.
and then
This
the
is
8th of
January
January
time.
would be
Yeah.
2 weeks.
That's
Less than
But yeah, especially
less
in a
than 2
murder.
weeks. Less than 2 weeks because she was killed a week earlier.
yeah. Okay, so not 10 months. Let's say 2-week period. Okay, hang on.
But he still should have been
Make sure
interviewed
that you're
like that
okay,
week, you know?
'cause things are kind of been hard, I imagine. Okay. Are you going to school?
No, because I'm trying to stay away from the press. My friend said that after school, there's all these media people waiting there going, hello, did you see Burke in class today? No, I did not. I think he was absent. Oh, thanks. They go,
So do you feel like you're pretty safe?
yeah,
Yeah? Do you ever worry about it?
not really.
No?
I'm usually just playing my Nintendo.
Yeah?
Okay, stop
Well,
it there.
I haven't seen any indication yet that this child has been through a recent trauma.
He seems to have gone into sort of playful mode, and the tone of it is completely off.
His sister disappears in the middle of the night. She ends up dead in the basement, and he doesn't.
Worry about himself or worry that they may come back for him. I mean, that's
Interesting professional.
No, I don't know if you know who these two people are. They gathered the foremost experts in the world. This is a 2-part documentary that they did. They have forensic. They had everybody. They debunked the DNA thing, everything. He is a retired FBI, one of the top elitists of profiling and everything in the FBI, and she is from Scotland Yard, I believe.
Yeah.
What's this documentary called for people who haven't seen it?
The case of Jonbenet Ramsey part 2. So I imagine it'll be the case of
Yeah.
Jonbenet Ramsey part 1.
Part
Will
one.
be
It's in Nicolas
cool.
LePage. Nicolas LePage. It is absolutely detailed. They literally go through everything. Even they show, because I don't know if you know this, Ron, for people who are watching, next to the bowl with pineapple and milk, there was a flashlight, a huge flashlight, like a huge flashlight on the table, right? And then when they used the flashlight to replicate what could have killed her in the head, the flashlight literally that was on the table fits that. But the problem is that they never picked it up to check it.
Of course they didn't.
I remember those flashlights too. My dad had one of those giant black
it's a mag light.
flashlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was massive. You probably could kill somebody with one of those.
No,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
I got literally a friend of mine from school in high school was hit in the forehead with one of them and had his skull was all mashed up, and it's crazy. You all know what I'm talking about. The old security mag lights that take like 6 of the C or D cell batteries that were basically just freaking bats of doom, man. They were vicious. Okay, so look, what I'm going to do now is we're going to go to the interview that took place with Burke. No. Here we go. This one. So this is 9 years ago. Burke Ramsey, brother of murdered 6-year-old pageant star Jonbenet Ramsey, examines the ransom note with the killer. Now, this is with Dr. Phil, right? So take that with a grain of salt.
Are you aware of these different theories that are out there? Theories that
Right, hang on. I need you all just to look at this guy, and then I need you all to look at this guy.
Oh,
He
you know
looks
that Dr. Phil
extraordinarily
is not really a doctor, right?
No, I didn't know that.
You know that, right? He doesn't have a license
know
to
he wasn't
practice or anything
Isn't that
like that.
like-
He's
isn't that
actually
like
right now
faking
in
a
a lot
cop?
of trouble legally because he was him and his Papa Phil were actually charlatans who had to flee the town where they were, and he was literally a car salesman. And then he took some courses and stuff like that, and he got himself a psychologist license, which later he let expired. And then what he started to do is lend himself to court cases to be expert witness, where he sold his testimony at the highest bidder. And actually that's how he met Oprah, because he was used in one of the court cases with Oprah. And because thanks to him, Oprah won.
This is Burke when he's older. Yes.
That's
just
those are
changed my
the
whole world,
credentials of
Paula.
Dr. Phil. He's being sued right now, massive lawsuit.
Can I
I was
just
going
point
to
out
say,
as
isn't that
well?
illegal to be a doctor when you're not a doctor? Yeah.
No, so you're going to tell that to Dr. Dre? Are you? No, at no point as
definitely
Dr.
not.
Phil.
He has a disclaimer. He has a disclaimer in his
It
shows.
says clearly in the small print that he's not a doctor. Okay, so trust me.
But,
No one's
but the problem is that they only see in big prints, Dr. Phil, and Oprah endorsed him.
Yeah.
Well, now I wonder about Dr. Oz and all these other doctors.
No,
It's got
Dr.
me
Oz
curious.
is a doctor.
Yeah, listen, the only one Dr. Dre. Also, big shout out to Trump, by the way. Speaking of Dr. Dre and other individuals who would endorse the latest bills that have been passed. So we'll talk about that in our live stream. But reclassification, baby, you gotta love it. So this is Burke, right? And I just want to say, anyone who has this, who styles himself after a Sin City character so accurately, okay, we need to question, okay, because that dude is a carbon copy right there. Okay,
Yeah, that's so true.
let's dive in.
Theories that are out there.
Okay, yeah, but you can have a PhD in a lot of things. Okay, you could have a PhD in you can get a PhD in Klingon. Okay, you can have a doctorate in Klingon. All right.
Theories that you killed your sister, theories that your mother killed Jonbenet, and theories that an intruder killed Jonbenet. Those seem to be the 3 camps that people talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we were suspects. I didn't know they were camps, I guess.
And these are people.
What is going on?
Yeah, what is going on? That is so weird.
What is going on?
What did he say?
He's like
Are
so
you aware of
uncomfortable,
these
he's just
different
smiling
theories
uncontrollably.
that are out there? Theories that you killed your sister, theories that your mother killed Jonbenet, and theories that an intruder killed Jonbenet. Those seem to be the 3 camps that people talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we were suspects. I didn't know they were camps, I guess.
And these are people that post online. The shorthand is RDI, Ramsey did it, IDI, the intruder did it, or BDI, Burke did it. Do you know the theories that they set forth in saying that your mom killed Jonbenet?
I don't know the details, but I know the ransom note, they think the handwriting matched.
Have you seen it?
Have you read it?
I don't think I've read the whole thing. I've definitely seen pictures of it, though.
Did the handwriting look familiar to you at all? Had you seen it ever before?
No. I feel like the listen carefully is very distinct, and I've never really seen that. I don't know. I've never really looked at it closely because I'll see it and kind of get taken aback, and it's not something I really want to look at like a lot, you know?
Right. Does that look like her handwriting?
Honestly, looking at that, she would always bug me about having good handwriting, and she would like make me rewrite stuff to try to get me to have good handwriting, and I think it's too sloppy.
It's so
Why was he
funny,
smiling
isn't
the
it, huh?
whole interview?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He was so uncomfortable.
Nick, give me your reaction to that. I just need to sort something quickly, guys. So just keep this going, please.
Go, Nick. Go, Nick.
Yeah, I know that when I'm uncomfortable, I sometimes deflect with humor, or sometimes you smile uncontrollably because you're just like, I don't know how to act right now. The whole interview, he seems amazingly uncomfortable, and the questions he's asking are all related to them being involved with this. And he can't say that over the course of his entire growing up and adult life that he's never heard the different theories about what happened, or has no idea about the different camps of people, whatever. And if it was me, if that was my sister, I would have read that note 100 million times to try and understand who, what, why, everything. Like, that's just me, but that's my first reaction to that.
Well, to me, if I feel that he feels that he got away with it, because to him he's amusing. You know, it's like, why would it be amusing that you're the suspect to your sister's death? And also keep in mind that he got the questions in advance. So there was was no nervous that he didn't know what he was going to be asked. He was given the questions in advance. That was one of the deals that he made to do the interview. And they did it with Dr. Phil because Dr. Phil at the end said, "Oh, I don't think he did it."
Well, he still didn't know the answers to the questions, it seemed, if he had them in advance.
I just think
he seems
cocky.
so...
I think he feels cocky. I think he feels that he got away with it, but the idiot doesn't know that there's no date of expiration and murder charges.
Well, I'd be curious. I haven't really looked into Burke much about like what he does now or like who he is at all. I don't know if he gives like those spoiled rich kid kind of entitled vibes or not, but I would imagine he does. Dr. Phil cracks me up though. He literally BDI. Like he just has such a funny way of presenting things. And it seemed like he was trying to figure out like some sort of reason why the handwriting didn't match. And he almost was having a hard
but it wasn't
time.
him who wrote it. That little boy was like what, 7, 8? Because he's only like a couple of years older than Jonbenet. He's not going to write that attaché.
Well, and every 7-year-old kid is having their parents tell them to retrace letters. I mean, my kid's 6 right now, and he's learning to write and do like his letters are getting better and better, but they're still super sloppy. So you have him trace letters and like practice letters. So that's not totally weird. You know, it's not like that. He makes it seem like she was some sort of weird handwriting stickler that made him sit there and trace letters. Like it's got to be perfect. But no, I mean, that's just what 7-year-olds are doing.
Actually, well, I'm very old. But when I was going to school, we had these little booklets, and you had like 2 lines, and you had to do cursive, and you had to do the cursive in between those 2 little lines. You know, that's how you kept how to do it, right? Probably you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I had to do cursive too. I don't know if they still teach cursive or not, but I barely remember it.
No, but for us, everything was handwriting, and it was like that. But even if he was a great writer, he would never put that letter together. So Dr. Phil asked him his stupid questions, which of course the answer is no to. It's a way to guide the idea of people thinking that he did it is stupid because he didn't write the letter. Nobody's asking whether he wrote the letter or not. Right. I have my theory of what happened that night, you know, and it's, you know, like any parents do, they covered it up, but that's just me.
That seems, in my opinion, that seems like the only motive that I can find, unless there's some sort of crazy psychopathic killer that's on the loose.
He hated her. He hated all the attention she was getting because before she was born, he was he got all the attention. And then it got so bad that he would come and poop on her bed. He would punch her and all kinds of things.
Wow. He seems, and I don't know if this is true or not, but he seems like he's on the spectrum, in my opinion. Like, he gives me like some sort of just mildly off vibes. I don't know if that's true or not, or if that's been
Well,
tested.
they tried to use that as a defense. That's why he smiles so much. But
I could understand that. That's why he's acting weird. I mean, they do that with everybody. They just did that with the whole Brian Koberger thing. Like, he's acting so awkward and weird because he's got Asperger's or he's autistic. It just seems to be the
they know
go-to.
the difference between right and wrong. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
and they fluctuate into those rages because apparently he had a bad temper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Yeah.
even if you're on the spectrum, you're not happy within a week after your sister died.
Yeah.
If you truly believe that somebody took your sister, I wouldn't be able to sleep in the house.
Now, Paula, maybe you can remind me. I saw that documentary on Netflix, but it was a while ago. The district attorney, was it like an election year or something? They were trying to preserve his ability to get reelected. Like, I thought, and like having you'd think that having an actual solving of the crime would be more beneficial to him getting reelected. But I don't know.
The governor of
can't remember what
Colorado was
happened.
very good friends with the Ramseys. In fact, they got orders from the FBI and major police stations, and that they should not prosecute the Ramseys, and that the Ramseys were off limits, just like with the McCanns.
So weird.
Harder for the police because then they have to come up with these crazy theories that don't match because you don't investigate the suspects there. You can't actually, they tainted the crime scene so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the father he went straight to the basement. Everybody had gone through the entire house, and then he said, wait, I'm going to go to the basement, and he comes back with the body.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, and I know that I watched like a tour of their house. I know their house was kind of weirdly designed, but if you live there, and I think about if my kid was missing, I would have checked every square inch of the house like 4 to 5 different times, kind of like if I lose my keys, to the point where I'm like, I'm going crazy. I know that they're here somewhere. And so I don't know. That to me is wild. And the basement isn't like a hidden spot. It's not like a trap door.
No,
you
it
have to go in.
wasn't.
It was
And
just
the
a
window was
regular
broken
door.
from inside.
Yeah, I saw a comment earlier that mentioned that.
No,
broken
it's
from
in
the inside.
in this documentary. Have Ron send it to you. In this documentary, these people, and these are experts worldwide. They brought even burglars, that would say, how would you break into this house? No, I mean, they left no stone. They talked to the lady that was in the 911 call. And she's like, I don't understand why they never approached me.
Yeah. Well, and I also was listening to John talk about the window being broken, and he says something like, I thought we had that fixed like months ago, but I guess not. How do you not know if one of your windows was fixed or not? Like, if I just think about if it was my house, I would absolutely know if that was fixed or not. Plus, it's Colorado and it's wintertime. You're not going to leave a window broken. It's cold as shit. You get a draft. Like, I have cracks in the seal of my doors on the front and back, and my house is freezing cold, not even when it snows. And Boulder is at just about the same elevation as where we are, but it definitely gets snowy and cold up there. So if you had a giant window broken, there's a huge draft coming in. And there was snow, because I remember it had snowed. There was snow on the grass.
They try to look for footsteps. Even my apartment is pretty much all glass. It's double-sided glass, but still feel the cold.
Oh yeah, you go close to it, you can still feel the cold coming
I'm
off
right
of
here.
it. Yeah.
I can feel it, and it's double-sided. Like with stupid weather, it's like.
So you're not going to be like, oh dang, did we get that giant hole in the house fixed that's making it cold as shit in the basement? No, we still haven't gotten that fixed. Yeah, right. So that has to be a recent break. Like, it has to be a very recent break. And so I think that, especially since it was broken from the inside, like, there's no way around it.
It's
but it doesn't make any sense. The kidnappers know that the little girl is dead, so they're gonna sit down because, again, we have established that they didn't bring the note. Yeah. So after they killed Jonbenet Ramsey, they're gonna risk themselves and sit down to write a letter twice, and even writing the letter fast as they can. It was like 40 minutes because in this documentary, there's a guy trying to do it, and this is a guy who's not even thinking about what he's writing. He's literally, they're really reading it out to him, which makes it faster. But if you have to think about what you're going to write, it takes even longer. So they said that around, it would have been about at least an hour and a half to write both letters. So you're going to come there, kill the girl, and risk being found and write these letters because you didn't bring, hey, you know, I have your daughter. We want 100,000. We're going to let you deposit it here or there. Don't contact the police. No.
Yeah, no, it definitely is weird.
It's crazy. Okay, well, look, we had a question here. Who protected them? Well, this is where we're leading up to now. So there was a photograph that was doing the rounds a while ago that started doing the rounds again, which is Ghislaine Maxwell in the picture with Jonbenet Ramsey. And it's this image here. And you can see this woman, right, who has, I'm sorry, but that is like 99.999% the side profile of Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay.
Yeah, I wish I had a picture we could like pull up to match.
You do?
It
well,
looks
look,
exactly like
it just so happens your wish is my command. So you gotta look at that beak.
That nose is so defined, like, and it's so unique. You don't see that kind of a nose that often.
In the eyes too, and the cheekbones.
They call that the Michael Jackson, is what they call this one here. All right, this is called the Michael Jackson. Okay, and yeah, it's a bit mad, right? So then you say to yourself, surely not. Surely not.
Well,
surely not.
Look at this picture in the bottom right now. Look at her mouth crease the way it is, and she's got one more right behind it.
This one here.
This picture where it's got like the blurred face. Yeah. You can see on her where her mouth, like when she's smiling.
That's a
just
really,
like
really
this
good
chick is
point.
smiling. The mouth crease is the same. She has the big one and then a slightly smaller one behind it. Exactly the same on the smile.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
Mad. It's a bit mad. And then you ask yourself, what was Jeffrey Epstein up to in 1996? Well, let's remind ourselves, shall we? Let's remind ourselves. So, bear with me, please.
Well, and real quick, did you guys hear about the fact that they shared lawyers? That Ghislaine Maxwell used the same lawyers or same lawyer firm that the Ramseys used during their whole stint.
Oh well,
it's the Hattard company or something like that.
Another layer of sus. So let's have a look at what good old ChatGPT says. Mr. Epstein was up to in 1996. Well, this was when he was at his peak. Okay, the abuse pattern began in the early to mid 90s, including 1996. Being recruited and the pretense of massages. This was peak Epstein era.
Mm-hmm. I'm almost positive that Epstein had a house in Boulder too, or somewhere near there.
Yeah, he had a house. He had a beautiful. Well, I don't know if it was his house, but I mean, it ended up being his house. You know that Epstein, they used to call him Eggstein. You know why?
Yeah.
No. You do?
No,
I don't know.
Okay, because in one of the interrogations, it's actually online. You can watch it when he's interrogated. The FBI people are trying to rile him up, right? So they said to him, "Is it true that your member is the shape of an egg and as small as an egg?" And
I did see that.
And he walked away, and he got up and walked that, and from then on, he was known as Egg.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you get that mad about it, it's probably true.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing that in the interview. I thought that was so funny.
That is true.
All right. So you can see here, pretty serious time in Epstein's monstrous career. The operation was active by at least 94 to 96. Let's give him the benefit of that. Let's say 95, right? And then you look at this image of supposedly Ghislaine Maxwell, and you have to wonder, was this 1995? Was this the start of 1996? When was this? Was Ghislaine Maxwell shopping? Misty One asks. I'll be honest, when you first look at this, your brain wants this to not be Ghislaine Maxwell, right? And it does everything in its power to convince you.
Well, no, she was older there. She was almost before she died, that little girl, because of the features and how she looked at that age.
That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, it's a 6-year-old girl. Okay, so she's either going to be 5 or 6, surely, in this image, right? I mean, she's got to be. And there seems to be a lot of kids. And Maxwell seems to be paying attention to someone behind her. It is really an ominous image. And when you start typing into Google, Epstein and the connections between the two, there has been a lot of content made on YouTube all about the connections between Epstein and the Ramseys. Jonbenet's father finally hang on a second, that's the wrong one. Hang on a second, everybody. 1 second, everyone.
Oh, and the Epstein's house was in Vail, not Boulder, but they're not very far away from each other, maybe like an hour away from each other
By plane or driving?
by driving. As long as I-70 is not
That's
close.
nothing.
Yeah.
That's a helicopter ride.
Oh yeah, no, it is nothing. That's what people do that all the time to go skiing.
In
So
fact, Mr. Ramsey had private planes that he took that very day that his daughter was found dead, and the next day he took off because he didn't want to be there, and he left this little girl's body there.
yeah. Well, and I also heard that he made $6.5 billion that year with his company, and then he ended up selling it to Lockheed Martin, and like big. He's a big wealthy player for sure. So I'm sure that he was involved in the same circles as people like Epstein. He had that kind of money.
All right. So this is a video that's been put out shocking the Epstein-Jonbenet connection, Ghislaine Maxwell. Go and give that a watch. I'll link this here. And I'll read this out, this top paragraph here. This is in no way, this is why no one was ever brought to justice. When you run with people who are above the law, there is no law for you on this earth. In what is already a completely crazy case, some people are putting together puzzle pieces. One of those puzzle pieces is the fact that Jonbenet Ramsey's father hired Hayden, Morgan, and Foreman, a law office thought to be, in some cases, more powerful than the government in Colorado, in order to work the case of the tragic death and mysterious circumstances of the young model. Interestingly, Ghislaine Maxwell is thought to have been working with Epstein to gather blackmail on powerful people from the government in order to control them, and working hand in hand with lawyer Laura Menninger, who also works with Hayden, Morgan, and Foreman. That's exactly what you just said earlier, Nick, about them using the same law firms. And I'll be honest with you, when we start looking at how this family would parade this little girl around in outfits and cocktail dresses and doing these pageants, you then have this ominous picture of Ghislaine Maxwell, and of course we know exactly what the lore is behind those two monsters. This is not painting a particularly good picture, not only for the conspiracies of the elites and the conspirafacts of the rich and powerful in America, but what could arguably be seen as a horrific use of this child gone wrong. And who's to say how many times this horrific incident took place before it did go wrong? You know?
Yeah.
You've got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the PDF monsters, there are the ones that want to do horrible, horrible things to children. And then there's groups of people who might want to sit in a weird, dinsely lit basement while little girls are walking around in outfits. And that's where their line is. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of weirdness, right? That somebody like poor Jonbenet could have been forced into without it getting to, oh, well, somebody would have seen physical signs. There would have been bruising. There's a lot of layers to this horror of the PDF world. And you've got to wonder what the hell took place in that basement.
Well, think about what that world that she's involved in, the pageant world. Think about how much that opens her up to random strangers that could be planted there by another agency, group of people.
And it
would be very easy.
Another weird connection.
Hang on. And this is pre everyone's a security guard era. You know, this is when if a pageant took place, there might be some CCTV, but it certainly wasn't of a layer of, if you F around, you're going to find out on Twitter 10 seconds after you F around. You know what I'm saying? So to have a Ghislaine Maxwell drifting around somewhere like that, I can't imagine at the forefront of her mind was, oh, I don't want to end up on TikTok, bit weird, I'm at a kid's pageant. If that whole event took place, Ghislaine Maxwell was there and we got one signed up peripheral photo of her being there, girl did not want to be seen there. You know? It really is. It's really, really that
Well, and if you're
disturbing.
looking for traumatized girls, because that's obviously some of the perfect victims, is to find girls who already have a bit of trauma that are going to be more willing to follow you into some random situation like that. A pageant, like I was saying before, the pageant girls, there's got to be some like subliminal level of
course,
just trauma that they're going through to be exposed to that so young.
I don't even understand. Like, it'd be one thing if it's like I don't know. Like I don't even know how to rationalize this. If I'm being honest, there's no rationalizing this whole pageant madness. There really isn't.
Yeah, that's so true.
There really isn't. I'm trying to come up with some way of rationalizing the madness these kids are exposed to, but it's impossible.
I think it's insecure mothers who want to live through their kids because they're ugly looking. That's it.
Yeah, that's at the best of the best of it, Paula. At the best of it, that's what it is. But I'm not being funny.
Well, you should watch that documentary. I'll send it to you. It's quite. I couldn't even finish watching it.
Paula, this little girl here looks like a Vegas showgirl. Okay, there is nothing. There's nothing that a little girl should be doing anywhere. Okay, like this, unless it's like, I don't know, dance school with just mums there, and it's like, even that still seems a bit excessive for an outfit like this. But to be paraded around in a spectacle where who are the judges? Because if any of the judges are men,
we're looking, man.
Their hard drives. We need to
we're
be
looking, man. We're looking, man.
Drives.
And you know what's
terrible
about this? In that documentary, they angle they use is that there's 2 or 3 little girls, and there's a little girl that always wins, like Jonbenet Ramsey, right? But they see the documentary from the perspective of the little girls that never win. They always get like 2nd or 3rd place, and the mothers take it as a personal failure. And you see how they blame the little girls, and the little girls are all stressed out because they know they're not going to win. And in the documentary, they go, "Oh no, she's here." You know, it's like, and you see the little girl, and the mother says, "Well, you haven't lost the baby fat. If you lost the baby fat, you know, and you look like her," and you can see the little girl through the cheeks, you know, really stressed out, not eating.
Okay,
it is horrible.
I'm with you. All right. So isn't it very interesting that the same year the Epstein files come out, we suddenly have a break in the case?
Oh no!
Yeah,
you want to know this link? Alan Dershowitz.
Right, Alan Dershowitz, people. So
Do you know who Alan Dershowitz is?
Yeah. I want to hear what this link is, Paula.
Okay.
Well, Alan Dershowitz, he was not the official lawyer of the Ramseys, and there were no official friendships. But he assumed the role of going pretty much on. He was almost like the public speaker, saying that this case would never be solved unless a 3rd party came forward and admitted guilt. He went and he would go into and he did know John Ramsey, but they said that he wasn't friends or he didn't officially represent, but he did the rounds. But this case was there for years, and he was like really, really speaking and selling that they didn't kill him and that they should leave the Ramseys alone.
Yeah. That is an interesting.
Epstein.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, because
he was on Larry King. I mean, he did the rounds, but his thing is like, nope, they didn't do it unless a 3rd party. This will never be solved because the 3rd party has to come forward. And I mean, that was his legal. He's a Harvard professor. That was his legal expert opinion.
Yeah. Damn, that's wild. That's definitely that's another link between Epstein and
because people were wondering at one point. Larry King asked him, "Why are you so invested in this?" And the guy's like, that took him back, and it's like, well, you know, it's just that it's just unfair how they treat the Ramseys, you know, and it didn't sound correct, the explanation, but he literally went on every show there was debunking and said that the Ramseys were not guilty.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy how I just went to CrimeCon this year in Denver, and John Ramsey was there, and I wanted to go see him, but it overlapped with somebody else I was trying to see, so we didn't go see him. But
what was he doing there?
I honestly don't really. He was telling his story in one of the events, but then he was also doing meet and greets, which I thought was really weird. But because I don't know, it's kind of a two-sided coin. There's
Is he really needing money? Isn't he a multimillionaire?
That's what I thought, but because he definitely sold his company that that was a subsidiary of Lockheed Martin. He sold that to I can't remember who he sold it to, but he obviously made a ton of money off of that. But with his major connections, there's no way he wasn't tied with the same people as Epstein, Dershowitz, all of those people, especially being tied to Lockheed. That's a number one, I don't know, connection. One thing I've been talking about on my channel a lot lately is the sex kitten MK Ultra programming of these young girls. And almost all of them go through this, like they always have some sort of either photo shoot or like some sort of period where they go through their Marilyn Monroe phase, or they in some way replicate Marilyn Monroe. And it's allegedly one of the signs that they're being groomed as a sex kitten. And when I see this picture that's up on the screen, she looks just like a little mini Marilyn Monroe, like in my opinion. So I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but I think that is it's pretty weird. And it's crazy. She looks so old in that picture. Like she looks like she could be graduating high school with a mini body.
It's insane, his net worth. They put his net worth $1 billion. So this guy's doing okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So, and the other thing, I think you touched on it earlier, the $118,000. What in the actual F is that? That is such a specific, like, number to throw out there. And I know it was supposed to be the same amount that they had to pay for something. I don't remember what it was.
It was his bonus. He got a bonus from the company.
So he's like, oh, I'm willing to give up my bonus.
So they knew the exact amount because it was the exact amount for his bonus. So it would be somebody in his company who would know how much he was getting.
Yeah, that actually is true. If it's not him or his wife, then it'd have to be somebody in their company. Do you know who the main suspects were? I feel like I remember one of them was the photographer that was taking pictures of Jonbenet.
There was also a former child player that was there as well, a construction worker.
Is there anybody in your mind, Paula, that holds up any
The thing is that they had these people. Yeah, there is a picture of the guys who were there, but the thing is that they were immediately discounted. The DNA that they kept saying about her underwear, it was actually discounted by experts because they said that whenever you buy underwear, this is when you buy clothes, even if they're not used, that the underwear and stuff like that, it is used because people made it. So there is residual DNA.
You can buy, if you think about how many people were contaminating that scene with how good we are, especially in light of the recent developments that we just got dropped with them testing DNA and all this stuff that hasn't been tested yet. There was a ton of people walking around that crime scene. Even if some random person that was in the house bumped into John right before he went down and found the body, that DNA could then now be the DNA that they're saying is this unknown male DNA that we're trying to find that definitely is the killer. Maybe it was just some random person walking through the house because the crime scene was so contaminated. Could have been anybody's DNA.
Yeah, but also the experts who were doing there, they showed that people pack, when they pack the underwear in the factories, it's somebody who actually puts the underwear in whatever, right? Because everything, it was just, but it was such a faint thing. It was such a minuscule percentage. It could be a female, male, it could be anybody, because if you're wrapping stuff in factories, where they mass package produce and stuff like that, that is there, that's handled and touched.
That makes sense. Yeah,
and they showed it. They said, they opened an underwear, like if you one of your, underwear, and they took it, they did a swap. They had like 2 types of DNA and they were new from the box because of course somebody has to handle them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Or even if it's in a factory, the machines are still getting touched. There's DNA on the machines. It does.
No, but people have to fold it. At some point they have to touch the material.
And put it actually in the package, fold them up into little cardboard things. Yeah. It's crazy how deep people have gone with this case. They're testing things that I would have never thought to test.
No, it's just that the experts were going that the amount of DNA that they found on the underwear is not massive. It wasn't blood or anything. It wasn't like any fluid, to say there was fluid, there was none. So it was just DNA, but not fluid DNA, which you would have thought if what John Ramsey was implying, but it wouldn't have given them time because the whole point was to kidnap the girl, not to kill her.
I remember when I was watching that documentary about Jonbenet, I think it was on Netflix, they were talking about how I don't know how you pronounce it, the garrote or the garrote, the thing that they strangled her with, how it was made.
Garrote is like a stick.
Wasn't it made out of a broken paintbrush or something? is what they
They don't
use
know
to
what
like.
it is. They don't know what it is. But the investigators who did the thing later on found out that the garage, it wouldn't have been there, but that the flashlight fit perfectly with the type
Yeah.
that it had.
Well, who uses a garrote for that? I mean, the only time I've ever used that is in video games. So I don't like and they would have had to make it on scene because it was like a handmade
Yeah.
looking one. But
And
yeah,
also,
the wound
the
to her
father
head is
had a
definitely.
boat, and the father was at a yacht, and he was a sailor, so he would tie. And the tie that the little girl had, she was tied up, was a sailor tie.
Oh yeah, I remember them saying that the knot was like really tight and they couldn't even get it off. Like they're having trouble getting the knot undone. Yeah. Well, and you can't just like, unless it was just a big pile of a bunch of different random knots, you know. But even those are still easy to undo. They're just tedious. You have to do one by one. That's an interesting point. Yeah. I'm sure he did have a yacht.
They had so much, but the thing is that they kept telling him that because the policemen went up and down the whole place and they couldn't find the little girl. And then because they didn't know, they went to the basement, but she wasn't really just there in the basement, you know, so you would have to know where to look for her. And he just went boom, boom, boom after everybody. And they had all their friends, everybody coming in because she had, and this is one of the things, my cousin, he's a sheriff, right? And he's worked with high profile cases and stuff. And he tells me that, listen, you know, like it doesn't work that way. You really need to preserve the scene. You know, he said, even a footstep, you know, he said that there was a scene that they had and the guys just walked in. This was in a park in LA and the guy was just walking there. So, and the policeman didn't put the, you know, the things on their feet. So they literally had to take the footprints of everybody and put and check if they matched the things on the grass just to discount them, so which was additional work for the police department because the idiots didn't do that, you know, because everything counts. So he just went and knew exactly where the girl is. And the first thing is, I'm going to pick her up and bring her upstairs.
Well, if there's one thing that, if you don't know very much about the Jonbenet Ramsey case, there's one thing that I feel like most people do know, and that's that they did some of the most sloppy police investigating possible, which typically screams cover up because cops aren't usually that, I don't know, that sloppy, I wouldn't imagine. I would imagine it's definitely intentional if they are. But to be fair, Boulder is a super rich area. I don't know how many of these cases they have handled.
They didn't. They weren't used for this. They weren't. That had never happened.
Yeah, I could imagine because Boulder is not like that. It's a college town, and then the rest of the town is rich, really rich.
That's why they call the FBI, sweetie, because they weren't prepared for that.
They're like, we have no idea what to do.
Exactly. It's like, and by the time and the thing is that, and my cousin was telling me that what she did was frame the crime. And he said that even then, policemen are taught, I don't care what the parents are saying, we're still going to treat them as suspects, and we're going to clean it like a blank slate. In fact, what they say in that 911 call is very telling, or they don't say. For example, when she says, there's been a kidnapping, what do you mean? I am the mother. Whose mother?
Yeah, I'm the mother.
There's been a kidnapping. You don't say that. You say, they took my daughter. My daughter's been taken. You know, it's like somebody took my daughter. There was a note, come here. You know, like I'm the mother. Who the hell else are you going to be?
No, totally. It seems scripted for sure, almost rehearsed, just like the ransom note. The ransom note was too proper, too well, almost kind of like the whole Tyler Robinson thing, how it sounds like his text messages were written by a military officer.
The car? It's like, it's almost
with the
like
vehicle.
That Tyler Robinson. I've been following
nobody
that
ever says vehicle. But yeah, same thing with this note. Some
Even
of the
I,
words
and
that they use, it's just like, who says these words, you know? So that is weird. And they obviously wrote it out and planned it.
Outfit. I don't care how gay you are. You don't say outfit.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and everything about it just stinks. That's for sure. The Charlie Kirk stuff has gotten wild. It's every day it gets more and more crazy.
Erica, TPUS, and then of course the feds all involved. But this is the problem that you have with cases like Jonbenet, that the police are told not to investigate, or the McCanns. You can't treat them as suspects when they should be the suspects, because then you're left with exactly. Even the neighbors, like the police, everybody knew who it was. They were not allowed to touch it. So you end up having to come up with insane things. And at the time, they had so much power when the police were they were given interviews. You know that they were not interviewed separately, just like the McCanns. They were interviewed together.
That's so true. I didn't even think about that. They were always interviewed together. Yeah.
Yep, the same thing with the McCanns. And what should have happened is they should have separated them. First, they should have cordoned off the area, but because she phrased it or she framed it as a kidnapping, just like the McCanns, so they were not treated as suspects. They did, you know, they didn't allow that. I'm blown away with all of this, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's crazy.
So sloppy.
It's crazy. Well, look, I want to dive into a couple of news clips on what has been announced today in the news, and we'll see what the new findings are. Is it nonsense? Is it just an annual acknowledgement? Let's find out.
Investigators in Colorado say they have new evidence in the Jonbenet Ramsey case.
This case is from 1996 of the murder of a 6-year-old child. It's captivated the public now for decades. Well, Boulder police now say they've collected and tested new evidence. No word on what that evidence is, but police say they've done new interviews also based on these new tips. Investigators still call this a cold case and one of their top priorities.
Ramsey was found dead in the basement of her family's home on December 26, 1996. Over the years, multiple people have claimed they killed her, but their confessions were ultimately discounted. Investigators in Colorado say they have new evidence in the Jonbenet Ramsey case.
This case is from 1996 of the murder of a 6-year-old child. It's captivated the public now for decades. Well, Boulder police now say they've collected and tested new evidence. No word on what that evidence is, but police say they've done.
So it needs to be the DNA from new suspects to test against the DNA they found. Because what the hell, 30 years later, are you collecting from the crime scene? Nothing. Okay, nothing. Yeah. Unless there's new science that can look at things that we don't know about yet, that they're retesting the DNA against. But I would have assumed that when the DNA, the National DNA Data Bank or whatever went live, everything kind of automatically checks itself, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it does. So they must be testing other people's DNA. And it's interesting because Epstein files.
Yeah, that is an interesting time.
Epstein files.
The timing of it is weird.
Because no one wants their name linked to this. No one. Okay? No one. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if there was a certain type of weirdo that used a certain type of service to facilitate access to little blonde 6-year-old girls, and no one really knew just how horrifically horrible this man was going to be. And then here we are.
Well, remember what the Pam Bondi said, that there were like 10,000 hours, thousands and thousands of hours with Epstein doing. You remember those tapes? Remember that, DJ?
Yeah,
I don't think I do.
No, you're talking about the Epstein.
On camera saying that there were tens of thousands of hours of corn with
that they gathered, yeah,
that she had seen it. No, that she had seen it. But there was with him only Epstein with little people.
Yeah.
Which is super strange that the timing of everything is weird. And then what I read about the new evidence is that they're testing evidence that they supposedly have had for years, but the original investigators were suppressing, and they have evidence or like DNA on those items that they're retesting, and obviously technological upgrades. But like you said, Ron, anybody in the CODIS database automatically updates. And I think it'll send some sort of update if some new person gets input in the CODIS system and they ping with something else.
Keep in mind,
John Ramsey give a interview right now about this new evidence that came out?
Sorry?
I feel like he
John
did.
Ramsey
He probably
give
did.
an interview about this new evidence that came out?
Did who?
John Ramsey.
Is he not
did
dead?
He comment on the? No, he's like I said. I just saw him at Crime.
No, he's still alive.
Just like not even like 4 months ago.
Hang on.
I'm going to show you here because he's right here. I think that he did a little.
Oh wow!
It says John. Okay, here it is. Jonbenet reacts to police announcing new evidence.
Oh, sick! Right? Yeah, send that over.
Okay, I can send it. Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, send it over. Yeah.
Okay, here I go. Wait. Okay, I'll send it to you. He's reacting to that. I thought you knew that.
No, this just came out today.
No, well, no, the evidence was announced before, but he was reacting. Here, I just sent it to you.
So this isn't today's. This isn't the evidence from today.
Yeah, this is the evidence. He was interviewed 3 days ago.
Okay, yeah, because I only found out about it today. That's why
We
I'm
found
saying.
out about it today, but the evidence has been out for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, and me only hearing about it today is why I've not heard about it.
I just sent you the link.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I've not pressed the button. My bad. Here we go.
We're just 10 days away from Christmas, one of the happiest times of the year. But for those of us in the true crime community, and for one family in Colorado, it is also a very dark anniversary. This month marks 29 years since 6-year-old Jonbenet Ramsey was found murdered inside her own home in Boulder. That means nearly 3 decades of questions and investigative missteps, and one of the most haunting unsolved cases in American history.
What are these outfits?
Jonbenet was killed the day after 1996, strangled, her skull fractured, her body left in the basement. And despite some brief moments of hope over the years, no one has ever been charged in this crime. But there may be a new development. Boulder police have just said that they have new evidence in the case. In their annual update, Police Chief Stephen Redfern said that Jonbenet's murder remains a top priority, and he outlined new steps being taken to move the case forward. Take a look.
This past year, our detectives have conducted several new interviews, as well as re-interviewed individuals based on tips that we've received. We've also collected new evidence and tested and retested other pieces of evidence to generate new leads. Techniques and technology constantly evolve. This is especially true with technology related to DNA testing. Detectives continue to consult with outside experts from across the country, as well as our state and federal partners, to strategize and explore all options when it comes to evidence testing.
Police are not saying what that evidence is or who has been interviewed, but they are confirming that new and follow-up interviews have been conducted and that new evidence has been collected. They also say that older evidence has been retested using advances in DNA technology with help from state, federal, and outside experts. I'll get to that in a moment, outside experts. Investigators are again urging anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward and tell police, even this many decades later. And just as he has for nearly 3 decades, Jonbenet's dad, John Ramsey, is still waiting for answers and still believing a breakthrough will come. And John joins me now live. John, I can't even count how many times you and I meet at this time of year to discuss what's new, what's happening, what's different, what's changed. But something does feel different this year. To hear Chief Redfern say that they've got new evidence, that they've retested old evidence, and that they're using outside.
I'm telling you right now, if this little girl's unaliving is solved in some way connected to the Epstein files, 90% of everyone in the world will shut up about wanting to know more about the Epstein files.
Where the fuck are they? Where are they getting new evidence from, if not from the Epstein files?
Dude,
like,
all I'm saying,
there's no other new evidence.
This
evidence.
is the ultimate. This is the ultimate pound of flesh. Okay, if this is what comes from what's being released, this little girl's murder being solved, this is going to be again a complete and utter cover up from the start. But this is outrageous. This is outrageous. This is so blatant, going to be used as a massive distraction tool. In my humble, what do you think, Paula? I mean, it has to be something to do with the files, right? It has to be. What are you thinking?
You know what has come to my mind? That this man must have been paying blackmail all these years, and I wonder if this is why he's bankrupt, doing meet and greets in Colorado, because he must have given away all his fortune trying to keep everything quiet. And now that he doesn't have any more money left, new evidence come out. What new evidence? You can only test old evidence. The house is sold. The little girl is dead. I mean, you know what I mean?
You're right. Is this been a long play of bleeding this
You
man.
can only use old evidence that was
Mhm.
collected. You don't have the crime scene anymore.
Right?
Mhm.
It's either new people being tested or new science testing old stuff.
Or new people
Believe me.
coming forward and
Yeah,
saying, or they've known all along, and now that he doesn't have any more money to give to people, you know, to keep paying his whatever, then he, you know what, we're gonna now release, and he's about to kick the bucket or whatever, he's 82 or 83.
Mhm.
You know, it's like,
Oh yeah, guarantee you, if John passes away of natural causes before his daughter's unaliver is announced, the day after he dies, the
don't
evidence
forget that this gentleman
Yeah.
had a private plane as well.
the day after he dies, well, there'll be another 97-page letter that suddenly comes to life.
No,
Okay.
but
Oh no,
don't
wait,
forget
no.
that
Wait,
John
wait,
Ramsey
I've
had
got
a
a better
private
one.
airplane too.
I've got a better one. The killer's still in the basement. No one bothered looking in the basement, and he's still there. I mean,
Nobody
madness.
checked. Yeah.
No one checked.
Well, and for
But that's the
me,
only thing that comes to my mind. What do you think, DJ?
Yeah.
yeah, the
Nick.
thing for me is like you guys were saying, there's no new evidence, and they very conveniently. All I could think of was Kash Patel talking about the supposed
Patel.
letter they found under Tyler Robinson's keyboard, where he's like word sandwiching, like, we have evidence of this note, but we don't have the ability to produce the note because it's been destroyed, but we do know that it existed. That's what this evidence sounded like to me. It was like, we've got new evidence, we've got new testimony from people, we've re-interviewed people, but we can't disclose any of that information. Just like the Epstein files, we've got all this evidence, but we can't disclose the information. We can't tell you what the evidence is. It's all very secretive. Like, why? It's not a current case. There's no risk of people. There's no risk of like the killer finding out now, oh, there's new evidence, and like suddenly being on the run. Like, he's been in, there is a killer out there, then he's been getting away with it for years. So this isn't new where they need to hide the evidence like in some recent murder case or something. Makes no sense to me.
They don't have a crime scene. The only thing that they can base their findings on is on the evidence collected almost 30 years ago. They can't go back to the crime scene. That has been destroyed. The house has been sold. I don't know if it's still standing, but that has been sold and resold. What are they going to do to collect? They can only use what they have there. And it's only so much they can do with DNA because from what I understand, they didn't collect very much.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they figure out that she had eaten pineapple? Which is what Burke liked. And apparently Burke was eating the pineapple, and Jonbenet came downstairs and she played with this food and started eating, and he got angry and he hit her over the head with a big flashlight standing right next to it. Yeah. And then the parents found her in the kitchen, and then they decided to take her to the basement, tie her up, and do all this crazy shit. You know what the forensic guy said? That he did a independent autopsy of Jonbenet and stuff like that. Her injuries were not deadly. She was alive, even her head, the injury in her head. But what did her was the strangulation, that she was actually alive. He thinks that they thought that she was dead. And when they saw that she wasn't dead, they just finished her up because they figured that it was either Burke, I imagine that as parents, you're put in an impossible situation, especially that little Burke had been so nasty towards Jonbenet. He's done very nasty things about her. He was really cruel to her. I mean, he used to punch her and do all kinds of things to her because he really didn't like her.
I think
her skull was fractured. I just wanted to reiterate that. Ashley Banfield said her skull was fractured. You have to hit somebody really, really hard to fracture a skull, because your head is meant to take a beating. So to fracture your skull, that's like getting hit with a flashlight extraordinarily hard. So like you said, if Burke had a temper and was super pissed, and obviously has done stuff like this before, doesn't surprise me that the closest thing to the bowl of pineapple was a flashlight. And that thing gets some force, even with how old was Burke at this time? Like 7 or 8?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but still, I mean, a 7 or 8 year old kid, like my kid, he's 6, he could swing a flashlight pretty hard.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing as well. We're talking about an 8-year-old versus a 6-year-old. You see what I mean? So it's not like how effective is an 8-year-old at taking down an adult or a grown woman or a grown man. It's a little girl, and it's quite it's quite wild how many open ends there is to this, because sadly, watching little people drift away into the afterlife is sadly something that I've covered as one of these horrific subcategories of PDF file, you know? And I guarantee you that when the Epstein files continue to come out, we're going to see something, because this is all too convenient now. This is all too convenient for this year to be the year where apparently we have new DNA breaks or leads that are going to be taking place. I hope to God this becomes the #1 talked about story if things actually start being resolved for this girl. But what are your final thoughts, Paula? What's your final thoughts on all of this?
Well, real quick, Ron, I just wanted to touch on this because we didn't touch on it, and I think it's super interesting. You had mentioned the power of AI to be able to extrapolate and like refined audio. Have you guys seen the AI future extrapolation of what Jonbenet Ramsey would look like? And then she literally looks identical to Katy Perry. Have you guys seen this rabbit
Yeah,
hole?
I saw that. That was really weird.
Especially if she was connected to Epstein. That's why I was bringing up the body earlier. Like, do we know this was actually Jonbenet's body that was tested? It wasn't just some random girl, and she was actually sold into this ring and what blah blah blah, and then ended up being Katy Perry. The age difference is a little bit convincing, but I mean, you can give anybody a social security number and fake information that doesn't disprove anything. But I just thought it was really weird, and some of the facial comparisons are pretty convincing.
I'm looking at some site. I don't see. Here's the thing. Like, so for example, when I pull up this image, right, that doesn't even look like Katy Perry, the person that's meant to be Katy Perry, which is this person here, right? Like, I don't know what they've done to this, but that doesn't. So I would need to delve into this, because some of the images, like this one definitely looks like Katy Perry. Would I say that looks like a younger Katy Perry? No. And it's an interesting one, because some of them kind of look very similar. Okay. But
well, and I guess she's made comments before about not growing up being some sort of pageant girl with like a Jonbenet Ramsey inside of her or something like that. She's made Jonbenet Ramsey comments that are just kind of like, they're not like super off the wall, but they're also just sus. You're like, that's kind of a weird thing to say. Like, who throws Jonbenet Ramsey into casual conversation?
No, that's interesting. It's definitely a rabbit hole worth going down, because listen, in the world of the elites and the PDFs and the children and all of it, there's no horror that these people aren't capable of manifesting, and they often, as the conspirafacts go, like to put their trophies, their symbols, and their evidence in plain sight, so that they can laugh at us, the subordinate slave species that we just get spoon-fed all this knowledge and are just expected to lap it up, because there are some similarities in these photos. But until I do my own little test, I wouldn't
I more than anything just wanted to raise it for anybody who has not heard about that rabbit hole, because it's one that sucked me in a couple different times. I haven't gotten super deep in it, but occasionally I'll be like, oh, I got to look into this a little bit. And it is definitely interesting. Especially, I was telling Paula earlier, I don't know if you were listening or not, but the picture that was up looked just like Marilyn Monroe. And there's a huge, in this like female sex kitten MK Ultra programming, is there's always some sort of Marilyn Monroe phase or stage that they have to go through, and Katy Perry is notoriously thrown into the sex kitten. She's everybody says she's been programmed.
Well, here's the other thing.
If it is in fact Jonbenet, then I think she was programmed from a very early age, and then they've reprogrammed her into this new personality. You know, that's what I've been reading about in my deep dives, anyways, on it.
I'm right in saying Katy Perry was Russell Brand's ex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was.
I mean, Russell Brand, I mean, the conspirafact goes that he went out to America and seen some things or found out some things, and then that was him done with the mainstream Hollywood and all of that, and he then hit the internet. So maybe there is something to this. Maybe there is some weirdness where what we're looking at is a product of this twisted horrific game.
Well, that's because I'm with you, Ron. When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, another conspiracy. But
Right.
then the more you look into it, you're like, okay, I don't know. There might be a little bit of substance here. And then the more you dig, you're like, all right, things are getting weird, but you never
Right.
get anything definitive. So I don't know. That's what makes it a really good rabbit hole.
But
Very similar to the Avril Lavigne one, you know, like those ones give me kind of the same vibes.
Yeah. Have you tried the Paul McCartney one yet?
Not yet, but that one's on my list. I want to dive into that one so bad. It's so weird.
Dude, a video literally came out yesterday about it. I'll send it to you. It's wild.
Oh, yeah, send it over.
But Paula, what do you think about the Katy Perry? Because the more I'm staring at it now, the more I'm like, this is a bit bizarre.
I don't know. I think that little girl died there. I think that Burke killed her. I think his parents covered up. And I think that the police was complicit with it because they were a prominent family. So they were able to buy the prosecutor in order to get himself reelected because they were friends with the governor of Colorado. And once you do that, once you've taken those decisions, just like with Epstein, when the attorney general this said, we're not going to prosecute him, and we're going to give him that sweetheart deal, or they told the attorney general of Florida, this is above your pay grade. This is the attorney general of Florida. That above his pay grade is the president of the United States, who at the time, was a Democrat and who was very close friends to Jeffrey Epstein. And they deny any connections, and they said they didn't know him in 1990s, that they met him in the 2000s, and then there's pictures of him in 1993. Together. It's once you're complicit, you're in for a penny, in for a pound. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And now I think whoever, because it's been so long, whoever has taken over, whoever's in that political spectrum, they no longer need John Ramsey. And I don't think he has that much cash left after you milk him for all it's worth. And now they don't care. Now there's new evidence. Where are you can somebody please tell me, where are they going to collect this evidence from? Unless it's testimony.
Unless it's new suspects, like I say, if they've got that DNA.
Unless it's testimony, you can only get new suspects from the old evidence. You can't. Where are you going to gather?
Okay, of course. Listen, it doesn't. Of course, you can have more suspects. They've said multiple people have come forward over the years, and they've ruled it out, and they specifically said it was DNA based. It's going to be in my opinion, right, and in my humble opinion, if we're looking at something that's come from the Epstein files, they're maybe following up on something that they've found there. But it's odd. It seems very odd to me. I'm hoping it's something groundbreaking, but sadly, it's probably going to be, a new form of DNA analysis, perhaps, that they're running the old evidence through.
Or maybe this is another way for people to get more money out of Mr. Ramsey. Saying, hey, there's like a warning shot. We have new evidence. We can leak it, or we can say, well, this evidence led to nothing.
That's a good point. Super good point.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I definitely could see that.
Yeah.
I feel like with this situation, I feel like it's, what is it, Occam's razor? Like the most obvious thing is usually the right answer. And that seems, what you said, Paul, it does seem like the most obvious likely story. And the Ramseys just got lucky enough and had the connections enough to be able to make it look like they had nothing to do with it. That's what seems most likely, in my opinion. Like, if I really had to put money on it, that's what I would say. And I would think that John, being a good husband, might have just been going along with it. Maybe it was Patsy's idea or something. Yeah, and so I don't know. That's kind of where I stand with it. But I also have not been exposed to this Epstein-Ghislaine connection until literally you guys booked me for this podcast. I was like, what? So I started looking into it, and I feel like there's a lot more substance there into their, if that is the real case and the real story, like, why on earth would they go to great lengths to protect the Ramseys? There has to be more to their connections than just what we're led to believe. So that I think is definitely, and like you said, Ron, like they didn't say new suspects. They didn't say we've learned new information from interviews with possible, we didn't get new leads. They didn't say anything like that. They said we have new evidence and we're testing old evidence. They were very specific about it. Yeah. So 100%, in my opinion, they got new evidence. And I think you're right. I think it did come from the Epstein files or something in that circle.
be.
Maybe the Diddy tapes. Who knows? There's
Oh,
freaking
yeah,
files
you
and
never
tapes
know.
all over the place.
Yeah.
You know,
it's-
and before, I just want to mention this. This is a funny comment because we all seen the 50 Cent. The 50 Cent did the documentary about Diddy, right? And he has all these tapes, and we've talked about it that these are actually considered confidential because he's talking to his lawyer. He just said to Jay-Z, "I also did a documentary about you."
Nice.
Like saying, dude, I can imagine Jay-Z going to see, looking around, who the hell has a camera, you know? Because
Yeah.
this was, I mean, and you have to give it to 50 Cent. He really holds a grudge and can sit on a secret for years, can't he? Because apparently he filmed for 15, 20 years or something like that. I mean,
Yeah, that's some
talk
long
about
game
that.
shit. That is a long game right there. If I ever saw it. Yeah, that's
no, but
pretty
now he
wild.
said that he's doing a documentary on that he has a documentary on Jay-Z. He's working on it and he has everything set up. I mean,
That's so funny. I'm excited to see what he has because, yeah, I feel like the whole Jay-Z thing blew up real quick and then died real quick, but I still
money.
feel like there's more there.
Let me leave this on one question for you all, right? On the Katy Perry scenario. I think for people who find it hard to accept that a lot of these things can take place, it's comforting to think that a child was abducted and is still alive in the form of Katy Perry. It gives people hope that if they keep digging and digging, they'll find a satisfying conclusion. All right. I mean, I don't know what world where Katy Perry's this little girl and her upbringing was peachy we can even try and mold, but I think that's where people find comfort in cases like this. They want to add an element of, oh, they look like this person or that person, because I think it gives a residual element of hope. And I hope that one day we learn the truth, and I hope that this little girl's unalive and in the sad case of Jonbenet isn't used in some political shenanigans surrounding the Epstein files, the photo of Ghislaine Maxwell, the individuals who made the connections with the political parties, the lawyers, all of that. I think it stands to reason that if there's some groundbreaking evidence from this year, we have to look at the circumstances and the connections to what could possibly be the pound of flesh that the public has been looking for from those files. And I just hope that it's based on justice and not based off of distraction. But Paula, Nick, thank you for being here. Freaking awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
you're very
Nick,
welcome.
it's lovely to meet you. I just subscribed to your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to subscribe to yours, Paula.
Thank you,
You'll see a lot
Yeah, you're
more of me, Paula, and Nick pulling apart some true crime cases and delving into some stuff because we love the conversation. But listen, it's freaking
One
almost
about Nick Rayner.
Yeah, we can do Nick Rayner. I've not actually even muttered a word
I
about
mean,
that.
just a quick shameless plug. I just did a Rob Reiner video. If you guys are interested in
I'm
diving
gonna go
down
watch
the rabbit
it.
hole real quick,
Yeah.
yeah, check it out. Just posted it this morning.
I'll go
Wicked.
check it out. I was because I'm into true crime like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird
Yeah.
too. There's some
Yeah.
weird connections to that one that you probably you would have never thought, and the news isn't talking about it.
Yeah.
Obviously. So, yeah, check it out.
But listen, we will do. Links are in the description. Thank you all for being here. At any point, if any of the news clips have been removed from this, I will add them to the description. It'll have been removed for copyright. And thank you all. Merry Christmas. I'll see you all tomorrow and Sunday and Monday. So if you're not on any of those shows, Merry Christmas. Thank you to Paula. Thank you to Nick. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the Shaun Attwood channel. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. Oh, listen.
Thank you,
all
guys.
need to keep
Later,
sending
sobers.
positive vibes to Shaun Attwood because he still ain't getting better. So we need positive vibes. All right, Nick. Thank you all. Thank you to the mods. See you on the next one.